card is like.
Hi, everyone, and welcome again to the Jason and Peely Project. This is Peely, and I have the amazing, I mean, folks, I know I said this for Instagram already, but I'm going to say it again for Facebook. Folks, have you ever met a person that touches something and it turns to gold? This woman, if you have this woman touch your home, I mean, go in there and just glam it up and make it pretty and make it nice and make it sellable, it will sell. So everyone, I want you to meet the amazing Michelina from the house of Michelina.
Thank you, honey. Yes. And as I said this already, I have met somebody as awesome. Well, I don't mean as awesome. Awesome. And it's you.
So I met this amazing woman through other women in real estate. They were just like, girl, if you want to get that house sold, you have to call my friend Michelina up. So finally, after thinking that, agents and home sellers and flippers and all these people, and I was all of them at one point, all think they can do it themselves.
Yeah.
But sometimes it takes, actually, most of the times it takes a special eye, and you have that. So, Michelina, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us how you got started and why you chose staging homes.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. Aloha. Well, let me see. Okay, so first of all, I didn't even know staging was staging. Okay, I didn't even know what that was. I just knew from when I was a little girl that I wanted to be some sort of creator, designer, whether it was fashion or it was homes, because I was always obsessed with changing my room back then, right? I was a little girl, so my room was like literally my home, my apartment for me. I wanted to always be on my own, and I wanted a little apartment, and I would always try to envision that in my room. So what was I going to say? So I've always wanted to be that. I've always wanted to also be a teacher when I was young. I don't know why, but I wanted to be a teacher. And so I was always obsessed with furniture. I loved antique style. I loved just different styles, not even like a specific. I just loved furniture. I loved homes. I love the style of homes. I mean, I've said this before. Me and my mom would go through, the higher end neighborhoods and just kind of drive by and look at them. I know it sounds creepy, but at night or in the day, it's like these beautiful Victorian homes, or like just get like inspiration of the brain or whatever. So I've always really, truly loved it. And so I've always wanted to, I've always put a lot of pressure on myself. So I was like, okay, if I want to be this, then I have to go to school, and I have to do this, and I have to have the degree, and I have to have the proof, and I have to have this, because this will define that I have made it, or whatever it was. And so I've had a little bit of setbacks because I am my own worst enemy and critic. And so and life gets in the way. So I was very, I was a caretaker for my parents, and especially my father. My father had gotten ill. And so that was like 24-hour care. And it was a point where I was going to go into college and to become an interior designer or take care of my dad. And I took care of my dad. So I was like, that's more important to me. I mean, of course, I want to pursue my dream and everything like that, but that family for me was more important. So I ended up actually enrolling and doing half of it. But at that point, my father was really, and I had to drop out. So that being said, so, then my husband and I, we got into, investing and stuff like that or whatever. But because we knew a couple of people in real estate and stuff, I actually designed, because I was doing people's personal homes, like just doing it for them, oh yeah, totally, I'll do it for free. I don't care. I just want to help you, create your house. And so I was doing that. And one of the people that I knew was actually an agent. And she was like, you know what? I want you to do my listing. And I was like, okay. So I was like, all right. So I did. And it sold. It sold like that. So I kind of played on that And, I try to just, do my research as best as I can. And it wasn't easy at all. I mean, my warehouse was my basement. It looks very glamorous and everything looks beautiful at the end, but behind the scenes, people just see like, oh my God, it's so cute, I love it. But it's like so much hard work that goes into it. And that's really much.
Let's dive into that though, because people see these beautiful homes. Dive into that. Dive into like what it takes to sell a home. Like really, I want you to pick out that real estate agent out there who's like, I can do this myself, or that homeowner out there that's, I can do this myself. Why? Why are stagers so key?
So, it's really key because sometimes we do want to, wear all the hats, take all the credit, do all of that. I get it because, in my business, I wear all the hats, but, sometimes you got to give a couple hats away. You only got one head, so give a couple away. I think that you need to learn how to delegate. I mean, for agents out there or whoever, they need to learn that it's a team. Right. So they're the best, builder. They're the best flipper. They're the best. They have the best, they have the construction side team. They already have teams within that business or team or whatever. And so staging, I mean, an agent is not really a stager, right? Like I'm a stager. I'm not an agent, like I'm not going to go and step on the agent's toes and say, well, you should do that. I mean, I recommend some little things sometimes, but I'm not an agent. It's not my hat. It's not my field. I don't want it. And so it's kind of like sometimes agents look at it because they're emotionally attached sometimes to their clients too. And you have to understand when you're staging the house, you can't put like a personal attachment. We have to put a personal attachment feel for the buyer, but sometimes we have agents who are like, oh, can we put, I'm thinking if we do extra in the bathroom, or can we do this, or can we incorporate this, or can we put a TV, or can we put, and it's like, you're not moving it. You need to have a nice, clean, just, and I'm like, you just have to have the right balance in the home. Just dress, not just dress it up, but like you can't overcrowd it, over personalize it. And you can't be too cold either because it won't attract, it just won't attract buyers. So it's really important to just team up with a good stager that and a good stager that you do know. And just, and I love people. I love my clients. Thank God I have loyal clients since day one still. And, I'm open, sometimes we're very like, neutral tone for some houses because not everybody likes that. Not everybody likes the funky edge sometimes, like you have to kind of, not everybody is that, but we have clients where they're like, I want this house to be very chic or very boho chic or very this, and we'll complete it, and then I'll go crazy because I'm like, okay, that's me, but I just think it's really important to, for an agent just to focus on their clients and their area and, just learn to trust and delegate.
So how much do you think, and this is getting to the mathematics of the whole thing, like for your average flipper or homeowner that's trying to sell their house, how much value, and you can say money-wise, you can say emotional attachment wise, how much value do you think you can bring to a home?
I mean, we bring a lot of different value to each home. I mean, we have clients literally that when we stage a house, it's literally, we'll come in, let's say today, this is a true story. Actually, we just staged the house. Let's say, I forgot what day, Monday, let's say Monday. And Tuesday it went live and it's already under contract. So it's like the impression, it's very, we have that. So the house doesn't have to stay, anything can happen under contract sometimes, but still, I mean, thankfully everything has stuck, but we bring that. We bring, when we come to the house and we stage it, we make sure that it's not just neutral tone. We have a little kick to it, but you have that where there's not many days on the market with the property. And people really do fall in love with the home. That's the first impression when they first come in, is like, oh my God, I love it. I envision myself there. And that's really what you want to kind of, you know, attract as well, that feel.
So I want to show our good friend Vanessa. Just says, two beautiful business ladies on fire. Vanessa, you are amazing. If you guys have a chance, go check out Michelina's Facebook page. She actually just had an interview with this amazing lady right here. Check that out. It was amazing, an amazing interview. Check it out. So now that we've done a little bit of that, and my audience knows who you are, let's dig a little bit deeper into the mindset, because it sounds like this was something you've always wanted to get into. But, and I think and is a better word, and you had to take care of family. You had something happen that you had no control over, and you made the decision. So let's step into that, because there's so many people out there who are just like, I can't because this happened. I can't because that happened. Let's dive into the I can't mindset and how you got over that.
Yeah, I mean, when I tell you that I'm my biggest like enemy, or was, you know, I was very like, I'm a very I can person. Like I'll figure it out, and I'll find a way. But there were so many obstacles like back then that I was trying to like, literally, like there's a tunnel, and I was like, damn, I want to get close. Can I get to the finish line? And I'm like, I just was trying to, and you know, it was like, I was very like, I was like everybody. I worked a 9-to-5 job. I worked many different jobs, lots of retail. I worked for my last job before, you know, transitioning. I worked for my cousin for 6 years, and she worked for kids with autism. So I was an office manager there for 6 years. I loved it, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. I loved it because I love people, and I love looking at, you know, the transition of the kids and everything like that. And it worked with my schedule with my dad, because I had to always be in the hospitals and everything like that. And so my biggest thing was my obstacles, right? That was the question, because I run.
How do you get over those obstacles?
Okay, I got you now. So you have to, like, for me, I will say, and for anybody, in my mind, I have to complete it. I have to do it. Like, if this is something like taking care of my father, that was not negotiable. That wasn't like, oh well, you know, you could go to the hospital and there's nurse. No, I had to do that. I wanted to do that. And I'm glad, because my father since passed away, but I look back and I'm always like, I have no regrets. No regrets. I have no regret I was there day and night, me and my mom sleeping in the hospitals, everything. I have no regret. And that makes me feel like I did 100% what I could for my dad, for my mom. And that drives me. My mom really is my model of, her drive is crazy. She's been through a lot, and she's been my father's nurse and caretaker and everything. So that was really motivating to watch. And I mean, you got to do it. Like, you got to get it done. You have to get it done. And so I just, you know, of course, there's a lot of back talk in the mind, and you're like, I got to do it, but how am I going to do it? And where do I begin? And all that stuff. But if you do the appropriate things or whatever, you know, you just keep tackling it. And it's funny because, so I worked for my cousin, I said, and I was at that point towards the last year where I was like, I'm not happy here. I don't feel fulfilled. I have to do something. I got to do this. I have to go overcome my fear, because believe it or not, one of my fears is speaking in public. I would never do this 5 years ago, ever. I would back out of this. I would back out. I would say, I'm sick. I have a lot of stage fright. And those are little things that I've overcome a little bit. I still have long ways to go, but I will get there, where one day I'm in front of a big audience and I can do that. And So I go to my husband. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So I go to my husband. And I'm like, I've been plotting my getaway from this job, right? And I'm like, damn it, it's my damn cousin. What am I gonna say? I don't care. I go home and I'm like, listen, I got some bad news. He's like, what? I'm like, me and Lisa got into it and she fired me. She fired me. So I don't have a job now. So she fired me. He's like, what? That's your cousin? How could she do that? I'm like, I don't want to get into it, because I'm already like, I'm lying. I'm lying. And I'm like, I don't want to get into it, but I'm going to take this on. I'm going to do this. Look, I stole that girl's house, like she really liked it. Everybody liked it. I'll have to find, so we kind of went through that whole back thing. And then kind of like maybe like 3 weeks later, I was like, I just want to let you, because, it's my cousin. I'm going to see her. I don't want him to be like, wow, you're a bitch. So he's like, wow. I'm like, yeah, because before I brought it up to him, like, I want to just leave and I just want to dive in. And I'm more of a diver. And John is more a little bit, a little safe, which is good because we kind of, but he dives sometimes. But he's more of like, let's think about this. I need to like, what makes sense, And I'm like, no, we have to go. Like, we got to get this done now. So that's really how it kind of came about with that situation.
That is amazing. Such amazing information. I mean, I was going to jump in with a question, but I completely forgot what that question was because the thing is you knew what you wanted to do. You were in a job that you didn't necessarily like. You knew that wasn't your purpose. You knew God didn't put you on the earth to do that. You knew you had to go out and help and get in there and really get it done. And you found ways to get it done. So awesome. So let's look into the future. What are some goals? What are your big audacious goals that you have set for yourself? So as she pushes a water bottle in.
Partnering up with Ascension. No, I'm kidding. Well, we have we have one big goal that's in the works that I can't say anything just yet about that, but it's big. But one of the goals too is actually, I mean, I don't know if you want to go into that, but I mean, the 75 hard.
We can talk about 75 hard all day.
All day, right? I know you can, girl. And you and your hubby, super inspiration because I've said this before, that I see you guys all the time, crazy, running, like all this. And I'm like, what is it? What is this? And so, yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to jump and I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. Well, I don't want to say try because try is like, whatever. But I'm so I am day 2. And so that's one of my goals because what I was trying to get, what I'm going to get out of this or what I'm trying to get out of this is just to be a little bit more, how do I say? Just to get a little bit more disciplined with myself, more into the groove of things because I'm a person that I wake up and I just leave the house like a crazy person. And I want to be more like Vanessa. When Vanessa was on the show, she's like, I'm a planner. We clock in at 9 and we do this. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing to me. And I have a lot of I'm very organized and neat in other areas. But for some reason, I'm neat in the business, but I'm just saying I need to streamline it. I need to make appointments for myself and have a time. I mean, it doesn't always go like that. I mean, sometimes there's fires to be put out and I have to put them out, but it has to be a little bit more stream and I have to learn to say no sometimes.
What's that word?
I don't know.
That word again? What?
I have to say no a little bit. I have to say no a little bit. And I just have to just tighten up and be a little bit more disciplined, be a better leader in my team, so it's just a lot of things and just sticking to this water thing. I thought I'm a water person. This is my biggest challenge.
The water throughout the entire year, because Jason, I completed the 75 hard year. the water is the hardest thing throughout, I thought, because you really, really need to systematize that. So I was a lot like you. I'm very like flighty. Let's just get things done organically. I can get it done when I need to. La la la. Let's connect with the world. Blue, blue, blue. And then I read The One Thing by Gary Keller, and I also read The 12-Week Year by Brian Moran. So if you haven't read these books, you have to. And anybody that's watching this, get those books. I basically live my life by these books and The Miracle Morning, but that's a whole nother thing. I want you to focus on 75 Hard. We'll talk about The Miracle Morning in a couple of months.
Okay.
So the one thing is basically the premise of that is you just find your one thing that you have to get done in that day. You get that done and everything else will fall into line. It makes sure that you get the most important thing done. So if you are in sales, or if you are a flipper, or if you're whatever. So say if you're in sales and you need to start cold calling, if you're an agent and you need to start cold calling, but you're still really uncomfortable with doing that, if that's your one thing, get it done. Right. You know how like cold calling doesn't come natural to me, but once I start, I'm just like bam, 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 bam. Get done. And then once it's done, you have this like extreme, like, okay, like you can celebration. Yes. So one thing. And then the second thing is the 12-week year. So the 12-week year is a way to systematize goals. So you set down your goals and then you set down the action steps that you need to do to get those goals done. So I suggest you read those too.
I'm definitely going to read those because that's the thing. Like I have everything out, but then, 6 o'clock rolls up and it's like, oh, we closed today. Come pick up the furniture. And it's like, hit me up. Like in the contract, it gives me 1 to 2 weeks. So it's like those things, or like, oh my God. And life. So part of 75 too, life happens. So I can go, I put timers and everything for all of this stuff that I have to do for the 75 Hard. How many timers go off in time where I'm like, okay, all right, I got to drink more water. Shit, I got to drink water. I got to read. I got to do all this stuff. So yesterday was like really hard for me with the water. Today too, I'm going to get adjusted to it because I'm peeing constantly like crazy. Okay. I don't even want to go out because I'm like, oh my God, I can't.
Where are you going to go use the bathroom?
I know. So that's my biggest and the reading because I'm more of an auditory learner. So I yawn a lot when I read and then it makes me tired. I don't know why. I don't know what that is, but I'm like, okay, I thought before bed would be a good idea. Not a good idea. So I will do it in the morning. So it's with me all day instead of at night when I forget.
Well, and the thing is about 75 Hard, and for anybody that's watching this, you want to know more about it, DM Michelina. She's in it right now. The rules are such as that you have to drink a gallon of water. You have to work out twice a day, each for 45 minutes. One needs to be outside. What else am I missing? Come in here.
Read 10 pages of book a night. Progress pick.
Mm-hmm. What are we missing? Diet. You need to follow a diet. Doesn't matter what diet.
Yeah.
But you have to follow a diet.
Yeah.
So these rules force you to cut out the BS in your life. It's about gaining mental fortitude. It's about systematizing. It's about reaching for those goals that you have set for yourself, but you have basically not gotten them. This will help you get there. This will help you. And on the way there, it'll help you feel better about yourself.
And one thing too about this, I didn't mean to.
No, cut me off.
One of the I run on, so it's cut me off too. The water is the hardest. Second, I don't even know why I'm not like a gym athletic person at all. Now I could wake up and my first morning workout, that's good for me. I don't mind that because I follow like a YouTube Team Body Project. They're amazing. I follow them, but my thing is I don't like to work out later in the day. I don't like it. So yesterday, I was kind of like, oh, God, I don't want to do this.
75 days, sweetie.
I did. And I was listening to your podcast on the walk and I was like, oh, my God. But the second workout is a little challenge. I'm a little sore today, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it.
The thing is, it's like it's leveling up yourself in such a way because it's not something you'd ever think about doing. You're like, I got my 45 minutes in. It's great. I'm good. I'm set for the day.
Yeah.
And then Andy Frisella, who put all this whole thing together, is like, no, you got to do another one. Go do another one. See how your body feels then. But can you imagine you stick on this for 75 days? How much fitter you'll feel, how much more clearer you'll be.
Yeah.
It's getting over those obstacles. And let's bring this full circle to the obstacles that you've already gotten over. So this is just another obstacle. What does Tony Robbins say? It's a worthy opponent. It's something that you have to take on. It's yourself.
That's right. That's right. And I had a couple people, which was like really amazing, that they were like, what's 75 hard? And I send them the link and they're like, I'm going to start. And I'm like, great. And I had this one girl, she said, I talked to her about it the first day and she's like, I'm going to do it with you tomorrow. I was like, oh, okay. So she's doing it. And she's like, okay, we have to this, and that. Right. And so I'm listening to the Andy Frisella, right? When I heard his intro podcast, he's like, the reason for this is because you don't have anybody holding you accountable or anything, because in life, you hold yourself accountable only. You don't call someone for this and that. Look, one of my timers for lunch, and I'm not going to have lunch yet. And I said, and so the girl tells me, she goes, yeah, I'm going to call you, you call me, and this is that, right? And I said, well, and I didn't want to sound like them, because I will be here, but you have to know that in life, you're accountable for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that you're accountable for yourself. I don't know if she's probably like, damn, bitch. But I was like, of course, check in. We can check in with each other, of course. But you have to make sure, like, don't wait on me to call you or vice versa. Because you have to take the action on your own. So.
Yes. And the thing is, you've brought up a really, really good topic. I mean, accountability, just what you said, because I'm not sure who you're talking about. So I'm not talking to you, whoever it is. But say you have an accountability partner and one day you forget to call them and they've depended on you for that call. Now it's your fault that they didn't make it? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I can't.
I know Andy would say it. I don't know you. I don't know Andy. So Andy, if you're listening to this, I'm guessing that this is what you're going to say. I listen to your stuff all the time. So, I don't know. That's BS. That's complete BS. That's bullshit. That's right. It's you. You are responsible for your actions. You are responsible for taking this on. You are responsible for your life. You're responsible for the choices you make.
That's right.
So how do you feel that 75 Hard is going to change your life? Go.
I even told my husband, I was like, let me just tell you something. In 75 days, you're about to have a whole different wife. So watch out. Okay. No, I think that I'm going to be extra,
you're going to be extra.
I think I'm going to be extra. I think I'm going to be on point with all my stuff. I feel like the stuff that I tend to procrastinate I procrastinate in certain things, but I feel like I won't run out the house like a crazy person. I don't want to run out no more like I want to be like, okay, I wake up at 5. I'm going to wake up at 5 and my first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my time to do this, because I'm a person about time. Mm-hmm. So I look at my watch all the time. It's like, if someone's meeting me at 1 o'clock, I'm there at 12:40, whatever. And I'm waiting and I'm there. And I'm like, okay, this has to be like this. I don't want to have that anxiety on me. I want it to be where I wake up. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to tackle this. I don't have to answer every damn text message, because I'm I reply on like 5 seconds. It's like, I live with my phone. I'm like, yep, we'll be there. Yep, we're here. Yep, we're there. Whatever. Yeah, I'll meet you there. And I don't want to be the person where I'm like, oh my God, I want to be in control. Yeah, on it, in control, and just systematize with things. Just more streamlined. Not a crazy person.
You got this, girl. You got this. I cannot wait. We have to have a follow-up call, because this is day 2 of 75 Hard for you. We have to have a follow-up call in 73 days, and see how you're doing. I'm going to call you up. We're going to go live on the 75th day. I'm going to be like, I'm going to make sure. I'm like, don't forget to take that picture, because if you don't take that picture today, you fail.
Oh, I took my pictures already. Yep, I took them.
I can't wait. So, if you could give any advice it's an open world right now.
Yeah.
To anybody in the world right now, was the last thing that you're going to be able to tell anybody on social media, what would it be?
Any advice?
Any advice?
Okay. Let's
You're
see.
like checking your time. You're like, do I have enough time to tell this to everyone?
Oh, no. It was another timer. Any advice? I guess, okay. So I live by everything happens for a reason. Strong believer, everything happens for a reason. Okay. Everything has happened. I'm here today. Why it took me this long? Because I wasn't ready for that back then or whatever. I had to finish certain things before I got to where I am. Okay. Go with your gut. Go with your gut. I say that's a good, not a good, I'm saying that's a piece of advice I could give. Go with your gut. That's it. If it doesn't work out, then you tried it, right? Like, I mean, just try. If you want to do something that whatever, a different career choice or whatever it is in life, try it, do it. If it doesn't work out, you already tried it. Now you know, okay, that wasn't for me. I thought I wanted to do that. Big mistake. No. Or you know what? I'm glad I tried it, or take a certain amount of steps to get there. But just do it, Nike. Just do it.
Do it.
And everything happens for a reason. I mean, that I live by that.
Everything happens for a reason, and everything does happen for a reason. I thank God. I thank those girls, Amanda and Lim. I know you're watching right now, for introducing me to this lady right here. Thank you. You are amazing. Michelina, thank you for coming on. I am so honored to have you here. If any of my listeners, followers want to get to know you, need to stage their home, hint, hint, how can they reach you?
So I feel like a commercial every time this happens. It's like, you can reach us on Facebook, House of Michelina's Luxury Staging Design, Michelina Kuhrt, stagewithmichelina.com, and Instagram is House of Michelina. So
fantastic. Or just follow this thread, hit the button that has Michelina, hit that button, and it'll take you straight to her page. And if you loved what you're hearing today and you want to hear more, hit and like that subscribe button, please. And if you have any questions, if you want to become a real estate agent, if you want to learn more about the real estate agency that I happen to be a part of, eXp Realty, text me. Text 908-224-6876. Text me, and I will let you know how you can get all the goodness. So, again, Michelina, thank you. You are amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing. Thank you for having me on, honey.
You're very welcome. And for all my listeners, thank you so much. I am so grateful for your time. Have an amazing, amazing day, and I will catch you later. Bye now.
Aloha.